The people of Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria, have spoken loudly regarding who governs them for the next 4 years. In Saturday's governorship election in the state, the people voted overwhelmingly for the candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC, Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji. According to the results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Oyebanji polled 187,057 votes to defeat Shaguni of the Socio-Democratic Party, who scored 82,211 votes, and BC Abayomi of the People's Democratic Party with 67,457 votes. 13 other political parties took part in the contest. But let's share the story of how it went with you.
It began as a contest among 16 persons representing 16 political parties, but by the time the results from the 22,244 polling units in the state began to arrive, it turned to a race dominated by just 3 candidates. After collation that lasted barely 3 hours, the returning officer made the all-important announcement
that Biodun Abayomi Oyebanjo of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected.
From a total of 989,244 registered voters, 360,753 turned up and were accredited to vote. Out of these, 8,888 were rejected, leaving 351,865 as valid votes. Though many will highlight an obvious low turnout of voters, the immediate reactions from the winners are expected.
It's wonderful, and we want to appreciate INEC. They have done a good job. They have successfully done a very clean, clear, and credible election that cannot be faulted anywhere.
There are those who have bones to pick with the conduct of the election and the result thereof.
We are rejecting this election for offending the tenets and provisions of the Electoral Act. Particularly, Section 24 of the Electoral Act forbids vote buying. It even provides sentences for purchasing votes. It is an embarrassment, it is a national disaster and an embarrassment to see voters queuing for money to sell their votes.
There is a legal room for redress at the tribunal. Not minding the diverse reactions, what remains is that the Ekiti State governorship election has been won and lost. Government and the people of the state will be looking forward to the 16th of October when the new governor will assume office.
Biko, Ekiti people have spoken. What's your impression about Saturday's election?
Well, there are many things we can say about the election held on Saturday, both negative and positive. Let's start with the positives. I like the tremendous turnout. I'm very impressed about the turnout. Yes, it's still in tandem with our political culture. Elderly people turning out more than the young people. The young people still remain apolitical, remain disinterested. I don't know why. Maybe it's because successive leaders in Nigeria have failed the young people. To encourage them to come out and exercise their franchise on election days is extremely difficult. To mobilize young people is so difficult. Now, we had so many elderly people. At the end of the day, yes, the turnout was impressive. That makes me happy.
Okay.
The process, thanks to INEC's innovations, have been made less cumbersome. In many places, the process went on fine, and in good time, people had cast their ballots, and those who wanted to waited. Those who had other things to do left for home. It makes me happy that the process went on smoothly like that. Talking about security was also impressive. I couldn't have expected anything less because we deployed a good number of security operatives to this election. There's a privilege that off-season elections have is that we can all focus on that election. INEC staff focus on that election. The political class generally, all the parties focusing on that election. So the off-season election gets far more attention than the usual general election.
Elections.
So security, you cannot complain. INEC usually fails to deploy ballot materials quickly on election day. We see all those things happen. In this case, INEC also did well, moving materials quickly, getting to location in good time. So incidents of ballot snatching and all that, this election didn't show that, despite the fact that there were hints of violence during the campaigns. Generally, you can say this was a peaceful election. However, the issue of vote buying was taken to giddy heights during this election. The Yaga Africa and other stakeholders had warned that given the way the campaigns were conducted in Osun, that will have their own election next month, and here in Ekiti, politicians were going to induce voters with money. But what we saw in Ekiti were politicians not just inducing voters with money, but also inducing security operatives with money. It's so shameful. No matter the level of innovations that we see on the part of INEC, this idea of buying people's votes on election day, buying people's conscience, diminishes us as a country. I've said it before. I don't know where else this happens. That people will be paid, and we are doing it in a very brazen manner. Look at young girls posted videos on Instagram, jubilating with the money they were given. That's why I said giddy heights, the level to which we had not seen before in terms of vote buying we saw here. Because at least people will even mask it. Yeah, they will call people, they will collect people's PVCs and then tell them to come into a house. Once they give them money, they will then come out. And then people will line up to receive money. There was even the case that I witnessed where people were snapping their ballot papers.
Papers, rather.
So that they will have something to show
to take back
to the person who will pay them. Where are we going? I mean, this kind of thing shouldn't be happening. It's shameful.
All right, Dari, talking about vote trading, are we really going anywhere, or is this a sad reality that we have not really opened up to embrace?
I am particularly pleased with the word you just used, vote trading. I've spent the whole of this morning again that this thing should not be called vote buying. It's vote trading. That it takes two to tango. We talk about the buyers, we talk about the buyers,
sellers.
about the sellers. The sellers are even more culpable. They lose head or tail. The voters lose when you sell your future. What happened in Ekiti is just unfortunate that while we are here to rejoice over the innovations and the gains that we can take away from this election, we were taking hundreds of years back by what happened in terms of vote trading. There is a particular incident where men of the Security Defense Corps hijacked or seized a bag of money that was brought to a polling unit for the purpose of buying votes. And the voters, the electorate, who should support such act, descended on the officers and nearly, attacked them, and they wanted to, the question was, why are you seizing the money? This is money they want to give us. And the man was even asking them in the video, I said, so you will take this money, they want to buy your vote, that's why we are seizing the money. He said, who sent you? And I looked at that elderly person and I felt, what awaits us as a nation? The culture is getting worse. And my story said something. He said the way the campaigns were conducted, maybe he didn't just want to say more. There were no campaigns in Ekiti. The parties didn't bother to talk to the people. It's as if they were saving their resources for what they already had plans to do. Apart from one or two parties that had the mega...
They had campaigns. They had campaigns. And they were going to people's homes to give them money.
Even during campaign.
They had campaigns.
What
people said they didn't do campaign.
What
of even the grand finale?
That's what I'm saying, that apart from one or two parties that had grand finale, sincerely,
even the smaller parties, some of them had campaigns.
The type of thing you see when people move from wards to ward, local government to local, it did not happen.
And the pattern has changed. People move from house to house now.
Well, okay, now you go to them house to house.
To give them semo, 5 kg of semo, 5 kg of rice, campaign, 5 kg of rice. The pattern has changed. That's now. You have to. When you budget money for election, it's a normal thing that you budget money for election. Now you budget money for election day. What you budget for election day is now much higher than what you budget for
the whole campaign.
Yes, because that is when you spend the most money.
And because you have not
10,000, 7,000, 5,000. That's how they were distributing it there.
So they said on those sides,
and the parties, even the parties complaining, were guilty
because they actually outbid.
They outspent them now.
They outspent.
So that is the thing.
It's a situation that, if not curbed, what we gain in terms of making the votes count, we will lose in the quality of the votes. If you are voting because you got money, can we really say you voted for the best that we can
But then, Dare, do we blame this on the economy? So, because people
are
saying that...
I am not one of those who want to blame this on the economy. Look, they talk about vote buying, vote selling, vote trading. I would say the media have done enough. Non-governmental organizations, other agencies, they try to paint the picture of what happens if you sell or buy votes. But are the people listening? If we say it is because of the economy, there are so many others who didn't sell their votes. He is here talking about this and is bad. It's in the same economy. That same economy. Yes, times are hard. But must we make the future harder? Because today is hard by selling our votes? I don't think that's the way to go.
At least there was a woman in Anambra State
who refused 5,000.
She said, no, I don't need your money. Not because she was comfortable or she had deep pockets, but people need to respect their conscience. We do things like we don't even have conscience anymore. Times are hard. See, who feels it knows it. The rate at which people beg you for money, if you will confess publicly, must have gone up significantly.
Astronomically.
Look, you are going, if you go to church and you are stepping out, there's a battery of people waiting, tell you about one problem or another. It's now, even today, I had not even gotten to the gate of the church when a woman came and said, I have health issues. That one is not even a Christian. She doesn't attend my church. So now, we have Nigerians roaming our streets who don't know when their next meal will come. or where their next meal will come from, you think that such individuals will be offered 10,000?
And won't collect it.
They probably have not eaten that day. I've been in situations before that a woman and 3 kids came to me and she said, see, this is 6 p.m. We've not eaten anything today. Is that bad for a lot of our people? We can thank God that for us, things are a lot better.
At least we feed.
It could still be better than this. But at least, compared to some people, we are a lot better. 6 p.m., the children had not eaten anything. And it wasn't fiction, it was true. Yeah. I had to part with some money. Okay, the next day, where does she go?
That takes care of that day.
Yes. Now, those who came up with the idea of the Bofunwako Sebe, they knew, even in their wicked hearts, they knew that our people were finding it difficult to feed. So they came up with the idea of the Bofunwako Sebe because people will want to cook. So this is the thing. Look, you can't blame it entirely on the economy, but the fact that people are suffering will make a lot more of them who ordinarily would not have wanted to do this, to do it. More and more people are taking to crime now. Yeah. When we were younger, do you think advanced fraud had not been around?
In there, at least we know of 419.
The first case of advanced fraud in our country was in the 40s. It has always been there. But why is it so rampant now? More and more people are coming out of universities, no job. I'm not justifying this aberrant behavior. I want it to end. I've been talking about it. But as long as life remains unbearable for many Nigerians, honestly, they will get desperate. And part of being desperate is receiving money from politicians to vote for them.
But Maestro, don't you think that the people should begin to look at the politicians, what I call their antics? The politicians, in my opinion, intentionally impoverish the people.
Of course.
Make them poor, so that when the day of election comes, whatever I offer you, you'll have no choice than to take and vote. How do we stop the trend? It is still the people. Nobody can help us. Nobody can help the people but the people. If they would take pain, bear the pains of today, so that tomorrow won't be the same. Bear the pains that have become the lot of we, the parents, so that the children, our children, will not find themselves in the same situation. Because, if you must know, these politicians will spend all this money, recycled money as I call it, because they still got it from our coffers, and make their own children comfortable. Put their children in a position where they'll be the one offering money in future. So the children of the same people collecting today. We must break the cycle. And the only way to do that is to realize that we must make vote count. And when it counts, let it be meaningful. That's my take on this very, very shameful development.